Hi, Mr. Unkert here, and in this video we're going to look at forms in HTML. To start a form in HTML, we're going to start with a form tag, and we're going to give the form an action and a method. If we don't define the method, the default method is get. Okay, and get is fine for non-sensitive information, but you'll see with sensitive information that we'll want to use post, and I'll go into why in a moment. Okay, the action is a page that's going to handle, or a file that's going to handle the form. A lot of times this is in PHP or some other backend server-side language. I'm going to put in sample-page.php, and then I'll leave the form action blank, so the form's not going to do anything. You're going to see that with the sample-page.php, it's going to throw up an error because we don't have that. But that's typically a thing you would put in the action. All right, so we're going to have an input, and we want to have an input type. Let's start out with text. We're going to give that a name so we can handle it later on. I'm going to call it user. With CSS, you typically can define the size of the input and so on, but there is some old code where it allows you to define the size and the characters that it's going to be. So let's just call it 20, and let's give it a max length, which is another attribute, of 40. So max length of 40 characters, and then we'll close out the input, okay, with a slash and a greater than symbol. Okay, let's bring that down, and let's open this page. And we see this like input here, and I had Johnny as one of my previous things I put in, but let's put in Mark. Okay, we're going to hit enter, and you'll see that it throws up an error because we don't have a sample page.php. We don't have a server that we're running it on, and so on and so forth. You'll see with the get method, you have this question mark, then user, which is the name of the input, equals Mark. So you can see it'll appear with the get method, the information that you post will appear in the URL. We don't necessarily want that. Okay, so to get rid of that error, I'm going to get rid of that page, hit Control and save, refresh, okay, and let's type in a different name. Let's type in Sally, hit enter, and you'll see you have the question mark, user equals Sally. The get method puts it up in the URL. So I'm going to close this out, and I'm going to change my method to post, okay. Now with the post method, oops, put that down there. With the post method, we open this up. We're going to get rid of Sally. Let's go with Susan. Okay, we're going to submit it, and you see it does not appear in the URL. So with passwords and that kind of thing, you want to use post. Okay. All right, to make this a little bit nicer, I'm going to put this input within a paragraph. Okay, we'll call this username. Okay, and then we'll have our input. Clean it up a little bit, make it a little bit nicer. And you'll see now it says username, colon, and then you can plug in your username. Okay. I'm going to change the method back to get just so you can see that all these things are being submitted. Okay, and we're going to try another input type. So this time, we're going to do a password, and the input type is going to be password. That's a specific thing you can use as an input type in HTML. Name is going to be pass. You can name it whatever you want. I just like to do a shorthand what it is. This one, let's make the size 25. We'll make it a little bit bigger, but we'll keep the max length equal to 40. Control and save. All right, we'll refresh. Okay, so you see the password slightly longer. We defined it as slightly longer. So let's do Billy and password 1234556. Okay, and you'll see that you can't see the password unless you click on the little icon. You see 1234556. Okay, now we don't have anything because there's two inputs. We don't have anything to submit. So it's not going to show up just yet, even though we have the get method. Okay. Let's see. Another thing we can have is a text area. And we want to give the text area a name. Let's call this comments. Let's call it com. Maybe make it like that. Okay, and then again, we can alter this via CSS, but we can also define the columns, which is an older method of doing it. So let's make that 30, and then the rows, let's make that 10. Okay, and then we'll close that out, and I can type enter your comment here. Okay. All right, let's hit Control S to save it, refresh. Okay, and you'll see your comments, and you can delete this out here and just type any old comment, put your username, password. Okay, and then, but we don't have a submit button, okay? All right, so the last one we want to have is an input type of submit, so we can submit our form. Okay, and we're also going to give you this a value, and the value is what's going to appear on the button. You can put, let's just put submit. Submit now. There we go. All right, let's refresh. Okay. And then, so we have our button, submit now. So let's put in Johnny. Password of password. Let's put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Spaceballs password. And then we'll put our comments. This comment box is really big. Okay. And then we're going to submit now. Okay. And because we're using the get method, we say the user equals Johnny. The input value that we named for password is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the input where we named comment is this comment box is really big. Okay, let's close that out, and let's change our method to post. Okay, we're going to hit Control and save, and we're going to open this again. Okay, and we'll say my name is Timmy. My password is password 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going all out there. And then you should probably use a more secure password than that. And then in the comments, I'll put my name is Tim. I like to ride my bike. I'm going to submit it now, and you'll see it won't appear in the URL because we're using the post method. So this video was a little bit about forms. If you have any questions, please leave comments in the comments below. Also, this morning, I got the domain name webdevinstruction.com, and I'll be providing some web dev instruction through that. So stay tuned for that. I'll leave a link to that in the description. And also, if you like this video, please like and subscribe. And thank you for watching. Have a great day.